Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations. So, if you have not watched part one, you should go watch it on Zara's channel first.
It is really good.
Yeah, you can like it, leave a comment, subscribe, do all the fun things, find out what he called me today, and then come back here.
I was so well deserved.
uh, and then yeah, we can just do a bunch of viewer questions and in-game stuff over here. Right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We'll be in the game. Madness.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Uh, yeah. Whoa. Okay. So let's start with viewer questions because we have a few, and hopefully we have enough time to
We have
to
a
get through
view
them
of them.
all. We have a view of them. Oh boy. Okay. This one I thought was kind of interesting, and I don't know how you'll feel about it, but we'll find out, I guess.
You're
Uh,
like it's cool, but you might
you
not have good taste.
you might not like it.
That's so
Well,
rude. All
once I
right.
read it, then you'll understand why I'm saying this.
I hope I don't like it.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh
Let's
boy.
go.
Okay. So Territor was saying it's a question regarding the top of GAC.
Oh.
So
Okay.
instead of adding more teams to stretch out rosters at the top end, so like more teams per zone in GAC, what if there was a platoon system? So a
I don't have
couple of
this.
slots, a couple of slots for specific key characters, at least like journey guide or conquest level characters, so Starkiller, Cat, etc. And by platooning that character, not using them, you can get some sort of bonus to your GAC from each individual character. You both would have the option of having the same bonuses if you platoon the same characters, or maybe the bonuses would cancel out if both players place them. Um, Sort of similar to Conquest data discs, maybe. And you could rotate the characters and bonuses with each season, stretching out the big rosters without adding time, and you still get use out of resources that you've built up.
Okay, so do you have any thoughts on this?
I thought this was interesting, and then I started thinking about it some more, and I was like, well, what happens when you get matched with somebody who doesn't have a character that goes in a platoon?
Right. It just exacerbates the advantage that you have.
Right.
So yeah, like I mean, now I guess it's been a while. I guess last week I did face someone who didn't have Jabba, but he was the only person in the group that didn't have Jabba, and his account is kind of a fun exception to the rule in a lot of ways. Like he punches way above his account size, anyways.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I just assume that everyone has a Relic 9 Jabba and a Relic 9 Chrysanthemum with the Omicron. Like that's just the standard at this point. That's what I have too. So, not complaining, not but that's just like what it is. Um and if it's always fair like that, then that's fine. However, I think like so pretty soon Afra's gonna be here and I'm gonna have this like 3 or 4 GAC weeks of not having Afra, and all the other people in my group will have her.
Mhm.
And like if that's like a something that you could platoon, number one, that sucks that I don't get to use my cool new character. Like it's like, oh, I have to put her in platoons. Because guaranteed that's the character the CG would choose. They wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, like don't like just throw CLS in there. That's fine. Like throw him in the cook pot. It's like don't use Afra because then people will but you get this crazy bonus.
Mhm.
It just seems like it would be too open to I don't know like that's a method of keeping the whales and the krakens happy and the rest of the everyone disgruntled and pissed off.
Right. So then I guess you'd have to limit to only the very tippy top. But then, like you said, you were facing somebody last week who didn't have Java. So where's the cutoff, right? Like where do you arbitrarily decide that
Right.
that's not a thing?
I don't know. There's not a good answer.
So,
I think it would be tough to implement, frankly.
mhm,
Like I'd be open to it, like if they released that, but it was limited to only characters that have been released and been out for like 2 years.
right.
You
That are
know, like,
still like flex characters or whatever you want to call it.
well, yeah, it's just like, all right, no one can really use Qui-Gon Jinn for a
Right.
month or something. Like
Or
that,
or
that changes the meta a little bit,
or you can't use Watt.
right? I mean, and that's problematic on its own because Watt is like so central to a lot of really important counters out
Right.
there.
So it's like, do you take that bonus or not?
Yeah,
That would be more, I think that would be more interesting.
it could be interesting. They'd have to be real careful, and then I guess the big thing is people would be pissed. The argue like you'd always hear like the main argument would be CG doesn't want me to use my whole roster. Like, why won't they let me use my whole roster? I want to use my roster, and CG
Mhm.
just, I spent all this time and resources, energy to just to throw this character in platoons. Like, people already say that about TB a little bit. Um,
But I mean, you're kind of at the point where you're not using your whole roster in GAC.
yeah, I mean, there are certain squads though that are like, yeah, I use that every time.
Right.
I think it could maybe freshen things up. They would just have to be real cautious, and I guess the other piece of it would be I don't see CG implementing it that well. Frankly, they haven't really proven to me that they're good at like preparing people for things. Like the new territory battle, like we got a whiff of like, oh man, like you, hey you guys, you need Relic 5 for everything. Like instant panic. Last week it was
Mm,
panic central because CG didn't just bother to say, oh yeah, and platoons are worth a ton, and even the really small guilds can get a bunch of stars. Like they
yep.
just chose not to share that really vital information. So
Yep.
I don't know what to say.
Which is less than ideal.
Less than ideal.
Okay. So, next question.
Yeah.
Dutch was asking, in a Starkiller squad, which fifth character would be the all-around best fit if you were to have Palpatine lead Mara, Starkiller, and Visas? And then they listed Barris, Luminara with the Omicron, or Mace.
Okay. Do you have an option, or do you have an opinion on that?
I'm curious why those three are the ones that are listed. Are those like the ones that you have geared already and you just want like an easy slot in, or are you holding on to like GK or Old Ben or Jahani for a different purpose?
So first off, Johanny's straight garbage in that squad. She is just a placeholder. If she's Relic 5, it's like, oh well, good. I have a Relic 5 Jedi,
Right.
but she is absolutely trash. There's no reason to use her there. If you like, she's like she's awful there. But if you have a Relic 5 and you want to tank Jedi, then okay, great. Um, so first, Luminara is just not working the way she kind of like. She doesn't have anyone she can work well with, and that includes Starkiller. Mace is a fun choice because he gives all the ability block stuff, which is goes
Mm-hmm.
really well with all the other control aspects that EP Mara have, uh, and he's tanky. Like he's double tank from Starkiller. He's got a lot of really cool stuff, and then like yeah, I would say he's probably the best choice. The other one would be Barris because it really makes General Grievous struggle to clear, and especially not that people do this as much anymore, but like the CLS squads can like against like a team with Juhani or something,
Mm-hmm.
CLS can just gun through that team so easily. Sometimes, except if Barris is there, then they can't.
Right.
So
That's fair.
there it is. All the things.
Fair
There are
enough.
all the things.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I like Mace is good. He's fine.
Straightforward. I just always feel like you want a tank, but that's just me.
Yeah.
It's
I
a good
mean,
point. I guess it depends like who you're facing, what they tend to do, and all that kind of stuff, right? Where you're at in terms of if you're speaking on it from a GAC point standpoint, like where are you in GAC and all of that.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't put EP Mara on defense for a while, anyways. I mean,
Hmm.
now pretty soon Vader will be gone, and it'll stop being such
Yeah,
low hanging fruit. But
easy, easy solo.
you know,
Sad.
Sag.
No. Okay. Next question. I like this one though because I think we both will have some interesting points on this, but you too, because of Professor X. So
Uh oh.
um Little Saint Janus was asking. They are in this constant struggle of flushing out the last thing and starting the next thing, like on your roster, basically. Where's the line in the sand for knowing when to transition? For example, after finishing Executor, I went ahead and relicked all 4 bounty hunters, 3 technically, to relic 8. This easily added another month on my grind. I did some passive shard farming during that time, but I didn't fully switch over to my profundity farm until IG88 was relic 8. I'm a minnow spender. I buy the Conquest Pass, occasional cheap packs that have legit value, and I'm at 6.8 million GP, similar to Professor X.
Hmm. I mean, we could just talk about this like for an hour or two.
I
Like,
know it's such an interesting thing because, like, I know I had this sort of when I was going after C,
mhm.
and then I was like, well, now I can do a trooper team.
I know I kept derailing you. I'm like, Qi'ra B2, get old Daka up. Yeah, I remember.
But I was like, now you can do this. But then when do you stop that and move to B2 or Old DACA or
So
whatever your next thing is?
that's all Professor X has ever done is get derailed on things. Like that's the whole point of that account is just to
Uh,
go to like I used to live in this town where the roads were just so crazy, just like all over the place. It wasn't gridded at all hardly, and like one of my teachers used to say that like the way they had like decided what direction the roads were gonna go is they just like followed a bunch of cows and like just traced the lines, and that was just like let the cows like go roam where they will, and that's basically my Professor X account is just like the cow. It's just like just roaming and doing whatever it wants off the beaten path, and it's had some amusing results. But I wouldn't say that it's led to a super hyper optimized account either. Yeah, I think that we could. I I don't know. I guess here's the thing. I think that if you're going to try to optimize things, you need to go in segments. You need to say, okay, I need my Sith trio up, and here are my 3 to 5 targeted characters,
mhm.
and here is the targeted relic level. And once I have that done, like treat it as like an unlock, and be like, all right, they're done. And now, unless there is something that is super pressing, I'm gonna work on just profundity.
Right. And I think it depends in terms of like what you're working on, what constitutes, finished. So like when I was doing my troopers, I was like, okay, I need to gear and relic Dark Trooper to put him with them. Like that was the side project that came out of that. And when I took him to relics, it was like, okay, relic 5 is the minimum that I wanted to get him to. But I knew he wasn't going to be done until 7 at the earliest. Realistically, I should give him like I should make him relic 8, but you kind of just have to know like where is the line for a specific part of the project as well. And can you
Right.
kind of hold back in some areas and push further in others? So like my Veers is relic 3 because whatever. Which
Whatever. I
I
don't want to use
mean,
them in GAC anyway, with Datacrons anyways.
well, that's the new thing now, right? Like
Right.
It feels like Relic 5 is kind of the minimum if you want to engage in that side of it.
Right. Well, and honestly, like I joke about that, and that's one of the strengths of my Professor X account at this point is that I've gotten a ton of blocks of Relic Fives just laid out and ready and everything. And so I can actually use datacrons. But at the end of the day, there's a ton of things like that's more of like a Kyber 2 thing, really. Like anything lower than that, there's just people are just going to be off randomly having at each other with no datacrons whatsoever. That's
Right.
fine.
Right. Okay. I think that answered that.
It started to answer it, yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's do one more.
Okay.
And then we'll move on to the other stuff and we'll save the rest of them for next week.
Very good.
So Warning was asking. His main account is 4.6 million GP. He just made Kyber 5 and he only has one Galactic Legend and Executor. So he likes to think his roster is optimized for GAC and his rank proves it. He can't remember the last time he went up against an account that was under 6 million GP that didn't out Galactic Legend him. However, he wants to know if we think he just made his Kyber climb harder on himself. He's now going for Starkiller and then to JML. I guess it depends really on who's around you and whether they're optimized for GAC or not.
I mean, I think like 4.6. That's cool. I don't know what the cutoff like. I'm sure that you're facing a lot of people with way bigger rosters. Like 4.6 is right around where Prevail Man was, and I came real close getting into Kyber as well on that account. I don't know, like if you're optimized for GAC, like you're not going to be content to just sometimes just lose some on purpose so that you can have like more even matches. So I think you just keep going for it. You just be prepared to get stomped really hard every once in a while.
Right.
Just totally thrashed. Some guys like I don't normally play GAC, but when I do, it's against someone with 4 million less GP than me.
Well, and I mean, so this is kind of the thing to also keep in mind, which is unfortunate, is people are just getting like squished down. So as you're coming up, all of these other people are getting squished down. So it's just going to keep happening where you will get matched with people who out GP you.
Yeah.
And they will most likely be like, okay, I can just go full defense here and win.
Yeah,
or something ridiculous.
In a way, as a community, we're going to have to redefine our valuation of like, oh, you're only in Kyber 3 is going to be like, oh, you're in Kyber 3, that's not too bad.
Right, exactly.
Kind of thing. Like, not that Kyber 3 is wrong, but it is bad or anything, but I think, like my main account, I'm pretty consistently in the top 100, top 50 kind of thing on the leaderboard. And I'll get dumped out of Kyber 1 in a few months if they don't change the formula. So, like, are you really gonna say like, oh, you're not cool, like you're only in Kyber 2 if myself and everyone else from Kyber 1 is dumped into Kyber 2, like it's madness. So just you got into Kyber, that's awesome, and if you don't stay in Kyber, I mean, there's pretty valid reasons for you not to stay there, frankly.
Right. Okay. So I think we can go into the game and we'll save the other two questions for next week.
Madness. All right.
I know, madness.
We're in the game.
All right. Do you want to do the pack PSA real quick and then we'll review a character?
Yeah, do it. I'm not even going to talk during the pack PSA. I'm just going to drink caffeine.
Oh boy. Okay. So most of these packs we've already reviewed. But I did want to flag because some people don't scroll all the way to the right. If you do buy these full Gear 12 pieces, they're back in the store. You have another like 5 days, 4.5 days by the time this comes out to get them. It's the $10 packs. And you can buy them twice if you do need a full Gear 12 piece. So just a PSA that they are there if you scroll all the way over.
Which one is your favorite?
Like if I were to buy one, or just in general, what's my favorite gear piece?
I don't care what your in general one is. I care about which one you think is the better deal.
Oh man, I don't know which one is the better deal.
Okay, the one that you need the most then.
Okay, the one I need the most right now, I would probably buy the cybernetics right now. Not because I need the gear, but because I need the Electrium.
Okay.
So I would buy it, and then I would go to the scavenger and convert that piece of gear to Electrium.
Ouch. All right.
I do need a ton of med packs.
Yeah, med packs are pretty important, and you need the thing is they share a Gear 13 component with like the fusion generators and a few other Gear 12 pieces on the right hand side. So I feel like that one's probably the one I would get in general. It's probably the most generalized one.
The safest bet if you didn't need one right away, kind of thing.
Yeah, not to mention it's pretty nice little boost to your character. Just a quick 5k shot in the arm
Right.
of health. Yeah.
You're set.
Yeah, it doesn't suck.
No. Okay, so that was it. Just wanted to flag that they are there if you do spend.
Okay.
And then we can review a character.
What character is that? Dare I ask?
Oh boy. Man, this is gonna be. She's smuggler.
She's a smuggler. It's easier to find her there, yeah.
Yeah. So we can.
I say after you don't respond to what character it is. I'm like, which character is it?
You know, it's Qi'ra.
I do know. Yeah, the dragon rider lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we picked her mainly because she has a special mission in territory battles in phase 1 for get 3 currency.
Yeah, I got 45 of them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we're fancy.
Which means Professor X did it as well.
I know. I decided not to point that out, but yeah. Thank you for just shouting it to the world.
You're welcome.
All right. So Qi'ra makes me laugh because she's real easy gear all the way up to gear 10.
Where I've stopped.
Yep. And then she requires I think like 400 Carbanti in those next 2 levels. She's just like old Ben. Like she's real easy until she's like, gosh, knock it off. Though of course with the new gear changes, it's not as daunting.
Right. And I just know I'm gonna have to do this, so I'm already feeling sad.
Good. So she's got a lot going on. What things do you know about her that are cool and good?
So she's got her call to assist on her second special.
Okay.
Right. And then she has an AoE stagger.
Conquest.
With Vet Han, you call Vet Han and you get another stagger.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, she was my only smuggler leader for a long time, and then Dash came along.
Yeah, well, Dash lead is pretty good. The thing I like about Qi'ra a lot, though, is she can be kind of versatile as a non-leader as well. She's got one of the best. Well, I don't know if one of the best, but she has a really strong off leader ability, which is her unique. If you want to click on it, you don't even have it zated, but
I could Zeta it.
I mean, I don't know if it's worth it right now. At gear 10, probably not, but
Right.
like she'd be a good.
I've made worse decisions.
I am sure you have. Like even as early as today, but as recently as today. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, it boosts her until you put the Zeta on her, and then it also boosts other people.
Right. Oh, while they're attacking as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a nice thing to be able to have some passive damage. Just add it to her and to other people as well.
Hmm.
So she's got a non-leadership ability, which I've always been fascinated with the idea of.
Hmm.
And then, I mean, the thing that's really interesting to me also is, she gets her prepared really easily, and then she has a lot of different conditionals on what you can do with that prepared once you have it.
Right.
And if you have prepared, you can do a lot of stuff, like you could dispel with that AOE, for instance.
Which would be really handy.
Right.
Yeah, right. And then she loses it. But then she would theoretically get it back again.
Right. So you kind of want to get, like, she's one of those characters who, uh, you know, for the most part, a lot of this game has been like moving away from crit chance. I mean, you
Mhm.
want crit chance, but you get so much of it passively from so many different places, or your character doesn't care about crit chance because the things you're countering are crit immune anyways. So you just want to do straight up offense, or there's tons of different reasons. But she's one of the characters who's like, well, you want to get prepared. You have to hit. You have to have two characters or two hits that were critical on the same hit, basically.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be during her turn, but she does have a bunch of different ways for that to happen. Like basically all of her attacks can happen on. So if she can double crit, then she's good to go. She's got prepared for next time. She's prepared for next time.
Right. She can do her next fancy thing.
Right.
Um, yeah. She's pretty. I feel like she's
She is
one of
pretty.
those.
Oh.
I feel like she's one of those characters that's fairly straightforward. Like it's not an overly complicated kit.
No, I mean they don't build them like they used to, kind of thing. Like
Hmm.
nowadays they have design space and all this, but she was the first smuggler leader and the only smuggler leader for years and years, and
Hmm.
it was always like, well, she's like really close to being amazing, but not quite there. So yeah, I like her well enough, but Dash just totally supplants her in terms of like which one is the best smuggler leader. Like, there's not a question.
Right. Right. But
So the territory battles, it's like, well, it doesn't. We don't care about who's the best. We care about what we're requiring.
right, exactly. And if you're in a guild doing the new territory battles, you're probably going to end up having to do that special mission.
Yeah. So it's GT. Yeah. So it's the
Mhm.
special mission, right? You said.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get GET3 for it.
Yeah, I'd say that's more of a stretch goal, though. Frankly, I mean, because
Totally.
it's not that much GT. And I did that mission. I tried it, and I got through the first wave, and then the second wave, I just got taken apart. So you're gonna have to need substantially better than just Relic 5, I think, for her.
Yeah, I've been hearing like the team competition for it was pretty vital.
Well, maybe I just used the wrong team too. I don't know, but
Right. So we'll
I
see.
don't know.
It's still a first try.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah. Okay, I think that's it for her.
yeah. Oh yeah. Keep in mind, she's really good at babysitting Nest as well because her
Mm.
leadership. Like, so she'll die, but her leadership still gives because Nest is an attacker.
Hmm.
Nest will still end up with all this stuff. Like, she'll actually recover protection, for instance, which is really nice because it keeps her more and more survivable. And then the plus 10 offense stacking up to 3 max stacks, so you get 30% extra offense, is pretty nice considering Nest can time out fairly easily
Hmm.
against teams that she wants to solo. So
Right. So this helps her not do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Um, okay. You want us to roster?
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
30 seconds.
All right, we're going over. Shock, I know.
Is it
Sure.
really going over these days?
I guess it's not. Uh, okay. So we've got it up. Dust in the window.
Dust in the wind. Ooh.
Hmm.
And he's in the Sons of Windu.
Oh, that's fun. That's
Uh,
fun.
I like the first half of that word.
Win.
Win. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yes, ma'am. All right. You made it weird, but all right. 6.4 million GP.
Yes. In Kyber 2?
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty good showing, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
How many skill
So
points is that? 30. Oh, like on the very,
33,
on the
33.
ragged edge of Kyber 2. Like very, very close. But, that, I mean, yeah, this is actually a good, a nice feat for someone at
Hmm.
this GP level. So how many, we'll find out about GLs in a minute. 5-star Executor. What other ships?
All right. So capital wise, we're missing 3.
Let's see. So no Profundity, no
No Raddus.
Radis.
No finalizer. No finalizer.
Finalizer. Oof. Okay.
Interesting.
And they haven't farmed any of the First Order or Resistance ships.
I guess that's why.
Haven't farmed the Outrider or Dash. All right, I'm less and less impressed. Let's continue.
Yeah, there's Kylo's shuttle, 5-star.
He's just like, hey, I have a Gear 12 OG Kylo for some reason. Look at me. I'm like, I guess I'm done looking at you.
4-star
Uh,
bomber
man,
with a Relic 7 pilot.
all right. Well, just keep making bad decisions, I guess. It's on you.
Uh,
No one else is to blame.
Relic 4 crew and a 6-star silencer. How? I
I
mean,
almost dropped the F bomb there. Like, what the?
I'm just trying to. I mean, we'll look at it at the roster in a minute, but you've got a Relic crew.
Well, okay. So I guess one thing to point out though is he was just. Oh no, I was gonna say we were looking at the other roster, or we were talking about a guy who's in Kyber 5, but
Right.
he's in Kyber 2, so he's been doing the 3 fleet zones for a while now, and he's still somehow.
Yeah. Because that was
All
all
right.
of Kyber, 3 fleet zones.
Well, just keep hoping your opponents have bad fleets, I guess, is my
Yikes.
advice. Characters?
Characters. Or do you want to see the Datacron engagement first?
Oh, yeah. Sure, just little context. Oh, tiny bit. All right.
Minimal. All right. Characters. So, Kenobi, C, and Luke.
Well, yeah, he's way less GP than my alt, and yet has more GLs. So there you go.
Okay, so happy to see Cat at least with Kenobi, because
His cat has a higher relic level than my main account's
man,
cat.
I
Yeah.
think mine too, actually.
My main account is way bigger than yours, though. Yeah, it's crazy though. It's good, I guess. I suppose.
You suppose.
So kind of top heavy here. Like at 6.8,
Mm-hmm.
he has a lot of relic 7s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ton. Relic 7s, Relic 8s.
Yeah, they even have Mace with
Yeah.
an Omicron.
Nest is Relic 7.
Okay, so top heavy. I mean that's a decent strategy because that way the teams that you do have are
Mhm.
going to be able to challenge the bigger rosters and stuff.
Right. Oh, it was Asajj Omicron too.
Yeah, my alt actually just recently did that.
Did it?
Yeah, there's only like 2 relic characters on that squad. It's real stupid. But,
Okay, what do you want to look at in particular?
they have Mara Jade, but they don't have Starkiller. Like they have Mara Jade Omicron, but no
Right.
Starkiller. I don't know. What do you think? What should we look at?
Well, now I'm curious about his first order because he doesn't have finalizer, but why is crew relict? Like, are you going after them and working on your finalizer farm? I guess you're not going after.
You haven't even farmed any of, like,
Oh man.
why aren't you farming things? Stop not farming things. It's dumb.
Man. Okay.
All right.
Do you want to pick a different faction?
Yeah, I don't get Relic 4 on crew. Like Relic 4 is like the no man's land. It's like, hey, look at me. I can do all my cool stuff, and you're like, sorry, like you're not good enough for our squad because you're not Relic 5.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he's relic, basically.
Well, and
When
it's like, well, maybe his ship.
right, but
But
it should be 6-star.
it's 6 stars.
So I'm just trying to understand what's the thought process or the logic, or
there isn't one.
what am I missing?
You're not missing anything. They're just being dumb. Okay, no bad batch at all.
There are 0 bad batch.
Good. Okay, so
They are
that's
also
helpful.
missing.
This is they're like a microcosm of his brain.
I just
All right.
feel oh man. Okay.
This is a roast. Stop being.
What would you like
That'd be nice.
what would you like to see?
I doubt I want to see anything at this point. I guess let's look at Sith.
All right. Well, he has C.
He doesn't have Malgus.
Okay. Talon is not farmed.
Yeah, because why would you want Starkiller?
Man.
Why all these Relic 4s? Like Scion Relic 4, Nihilus
Yeah.
Relic 4, Treya Relic 4.
Maul's
Darn.
relic 4.
It's Molly, yeah, like it's just the worst Relic level ever. Like,
It's such a weird like I feel like I would just skip from 3 straight to 5 and then 5 straight to 7.
if possible, yeah, I think so.
You know?
Well, like a quick boost to 6 and then just leave it for a couple years is also probably pretty much the way I do things, but all right. So garbage Sith. Let's move on. How fast is his Darth Revan real quick? Can we look at that?
Yeah.
See if he's been doing mod stuff.
345.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. All right. Quick enough.
Do you want to sort his roster by speed?
No.
All right. I wanted to see what his Night Sisters look like
Yeah,
because he has
yeah.
the Asajj Omicron. Okay.
Well, I noticed his Relic 6 Daka. Let's see how much health she has. 128k health or higher, please.
115.
Not so much. How much? I saw some defense sets though. That might offset it a little bit. 14. Could you just click out of that and so we could look at the sets?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so defense and health. Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, garbage Night Sisters is actually a valid strategy.
Fair enough. I'm trying to figure out. So, C, Jedi Master Luke, and Kenobi. Where are you going next? Because I don't think it's Kylo.
So Hut Cartel? Certainly not Rey.
It's definitely not Rey.
Or Starkiller, for that matter.
Oof. Is it Hut Cartel? I guess that's a good.
Nope.
Nope. Where are you going next? Who am I missing? Lord Vader, but then there's no Bad Batch.
No Bad Batch. Just up a creek without a paddle.
I don't know. Are you filling in projects?
Are you just bad at what you do?
I just want to know what's happening.
Do you regret life choices in general?
Did you get a trooper team? Okay, he's got a trooper team. Ish.
Sure.
Gideon's not farmed. Farm your Gideon.
Like you would do anything with your Gideon.
I used him like once or twice.
Ever. No. He can be out. But seriously, like, farm stuff. Are you kidding me? You'd be a lot closer in GP to me if you actually farmed things.
Ooh, I wonder if he's going for profundity. No Adrad. Where's Adrad? Do you just not unlock the marquees until you need them?
He's just trying to impress everyone with how low GP he is. He's like, look at my GP, and I'm in Kyber 2. I'm so cool. But in reality, he'd have way higher GP. It would be less impressive.
I want to know what he's doing. And I can't figure it out.
I've already stopped caring.
I'm just bothered.
Well, oh bother.
Fine. All right.
Okay, another garbage roster. Done.
Okay, but tell me what you're doing. That's all. I just want to know.
Don't tell me.